Anyways, there was a little glitch, but we're back. Um, we started here with the ball, if you remember, and I put an opening. We're doing a cross section on that ball, and then like the legs on the last one that I just did, I'm doing a cross section. So this, I'm trying to get a feel to the curve that this leg is going to come out a little wider than the one on the left. So this one I'm trying to keep it maybe just a little narrower, say. And so is what we're going to do is we're going to take the edge of this one and we're going to begin its journey down. And I'm going to watch the inside of this leg this way. So we're just going to start off with these long general lines and say the knee is going to be about here. And this one on the other side, we're going to swing it up to this leg just a little higher. So this is going to come down to here, and so there's a slight difference to the two of them. So this will do this. So there's our general directions, our upper leg, no variations of any kind, no muscle mass put in place. Then we're going to watch this bending in a little bit. I might have to bend it a little more because I got this figure here. And then this is going to come down. And unfortunately, it's going to run into my foot, but I'll do the best I can here. So this foot is going to come out in this direction. So I'm kind of watching, again, like I was doing here, the angle of the foot, or the footprint. So I'm saying this is doing this foot's going to come in this direction, and so we'll take this to here, and then we're going to try to feel a nice graceful curve of the top of the foot. And unfortunately, like I said, this foot is going to give us some problems here because of the other leg. But anyways, that would be in there like that, and there would be eventually a top plane. So I'm just going to try to get the simple feel of its placement. This one, we will take it and bring it, maybe keep it out a little bit, not much. I'm going to keep this ankles about the same, so I'm going to use a guideline straight across. Bringing this in, we'll taper it a little. So again, just general lines here. Let me get this one closer to where it ought to go. So, well, let me see. I'm trying to keep it going out a little bit, but it's hard from my angle. So what I'm going to do is put this foot like it's tilted on its toe a little bit. So what we'll do is take this height, and I'm going to keep that line there, and I'm going to come with an angle here and a little bit of a thickness like this, and take where this break is, right where this is, whoops, and now bring it in like this. Trying to get it a little wider with these two lines. So I'll do that. So I'll get rid of the other lines. So again, very general lines, nothing with any muscle tone. We're angling this out. And then I'm putting in, starting a little narrower to wider, a couple parallel lines. And then this is the bend of the foot. And then it's going to take a bend right here, of course. And then coming up a little bit and over. And so that's our first simple construction. Now, on a leg, of course, I tried to bend this. I'm going to try to get it a little clearer. With these ellipses underneath, I'm trying to put a little plane here so you can see how it's coming out. Oops. Let me get this charcoal in the right shape here, and we'll finish this up. So is what would happen on a leg like this this muscle would swell up a little more. I'm going to place it in. I'm going to put a little bit of a bulge there and to about there. And I'm going to look for the high point, which I'm going to show you. So legs are very rounded here at the top like this. And then they get to be more bony. But that's where my original construction line was. It was that line. I'm just pulling it out a little. These things aren't as much sometimes as you think. Then the high point is right here, right where I've got the plane break up there. That's the high point of the leg. So I'm going to make a plane break. So once I got that plane break there, it's going to start to give it a little bit of form. There would be a plane break probably about here. So what I'm going to do is this would go up a little bit and this would start to go down a little bit. So it would start to curve up and around, up and around, up and around. So it would do that sort of thing. So as I would work over that, and as you can see the lines being placed, is what happens is this is showing that it's a different angle than this is. It's very subtle, but it makes all the difference. This becomes a little more squared off, but it would curve around. So this becomes a larger plane. If I constructed it, this would be a plane on top like this, and this would come over the top of my knee as my ellipse would go like this as a cross section. So this is the top of the knee. This wraps around the side, plane breaks. So you want to watch where the bigger planes are. I'm just going to square it off like this. Make it a little darker so that you can see it. There's my structure on that leg. This would come around like this, and our lower edge, the plane break, is here on the tibia bone, right about there. And we'll begin to see that this will curve and come around this way. So it's going to start to give me the feel. If I drew it all the way through, as you're going to see in the handout I gave you, this is curved down a little bit. I've got it probably too far. And the lower one, it's going to start to curve. These, if this was flushed out a little bit, this would have a little bit fuller of a muscle here. And you can do that. You can build those in, put that in there. So now I've got a little bit of the muscle, just build it out a little bit the way that it goes. And then the heel would come out just a little bit more and around. So it gives us a little bit more of the type of depth that's there. This is going to make its curve at the tibia bone, and so that muscle curves, that makes its curve. So you keep structuring these things. The patella would be in here, and this would ultimately come down for our top of our foot. Now we got the little subtlety of the muscle. Let those lines, one flow out of one, the other one flows out of the other one. The top of the foot would be here. It would pick up that plane break there. And then it's going to wrap around the ankle. I'll get out of your way in a minute. So what happens is the muscle here pulls in, because it's the bone then pulling in, and then the heel pulls out. That would do that. So that will give us, because of this plane, it gives us the top of the foot. And so then here, there's always subtleties in here. There's talus bone in there, but we're going to just take this one step at a time. So that plane break would be there. So now we've got a top and a side ultimately to the foot. Okay, so I'm just going to show you a little bit on this side. This muscle, of course, would swell out just a little more, come down to the bone. This is our plane break here. I'm going to clean this edge up just a little bit, come up with a line rather than a bunch of them. I'm going to put in the roundness of the muscle to my original line would have been here. So that would do that. That was my original line coming through. This is the plane break. On the top, it's going to follow this curve like this. So this is going to come up and around, come over the muscle and around. Oops, little too dynamic there. This would be a top to this muscle. Top of the knee. So watch the planes. This, we've got it flowing very graceful out of this line. This muscle would pick up, and it would get maybe a little fuller and pull right into the existing line. So this one will pull out a little bit. There's a high point to it about there, and then it pulls in, and it flows right out of the existing line we have. So the thing with the figure, these lines are very graceful. This flows in this way, and they're real subtle curves and relationships. The ankle, this line continues beyond, of course, the heel. There's a top plane to all of this, which I've got the line, but I don't just have it structured yet. And then the heel, or the ankle, will go in there. This has its line, and then the height of the form is here that I'm having you guys look for. And then this, of course, can roll around that way. So I think I'm going to take it and go this way with it. And so that'll do this, and wrap, and wrap, and wrap, and wrap, like that. And eventually this will come up to a plane in here, and it will follow right through the top plane of that foot. That'll follow through there and then pick up over here. And that'll pick up in there. So the whole plane will carry so it's once you're able to get these very simple lines and now the form, you're well along your way to constructing three-dimensional figures. The only thing that would now happen in here is a little bit of where the knee would be. And I'm just going to place it in there. So I'm going to leave this, outline it just a little darker, and we're going to leave this alone. That would do that. This would start to get more boxy, and there'd be a lot of little subtleties. But if you can get these big ones in, you're doing very well. So have fun drawing, and we will see you soon. Bye.